Didn't expect this, now didn't you? Yeah, I'm bringing this series back. Why? Well, I just felt like it. I have motivation again to make this series, so yeah. Anyway, 2025 for SML was certainly an interesting year for the channel with its highs and lows. What will 2026 be like? Well, we'll find out and see. We'll start by seeing how the first month turned out, January 2026. Anyway, before we begin, be sure to subscribe down below and turn on the notification bell. Totally optional, but we'd appreciate it if you did. Without further ado, let's begin, shall we? For the first video of the month, it's pretty okay, I guess. Starting off with positives, I think this video is pretty good when it comes to the comedy department. A decent amount made me laugh in this video. My favorite joke is a tie between how Steve Staleberger says losers in his beginning broadcast, and how the Christmas lights outside randomly turn on and Penelope just looks back at it and it's not acknowledged. Pretty good shit. Additionally, I like Cody in this video. He feels like his old self in this one. As well, the concept of the video is pretty interesting and a unique one. And finally, I thought it was neat that Harry was mentioned at the very end. That's it though. Time for negatives. I think one of my biggest negative with this video is that the plot in this video feels very non-structured. It feels disjointed. As a result, it ends up with the video being pretty underwhelming. Yeah, Penelope kissing Ken was pretty funny, but I still feel like the plot of this video could have all come together better, you know? Additionally, I feel like Ugly Elizabeth could have been a better character. She should have had more to her than just the stereotypical ugly girl. If she had a bit more to her character, she could have been more interesting and it would have made the video even more interesting. As well, Junior was kind of annoying in this video. He wasn't super annoying, of course, but I feel like his behavior in this video was just retreading the same grounds as other Junior x Penelope videos, you know? It makes it kind of hard to take the video seriously in all honesty. As well, I feel like the scene after the first New Year's kiss where it's just the Skeeter boys dragged a little bit. Not so much, but I feel like a little bit could have been cut down. And finally, while a nitpick, I should probably point out how I think it was kind of stupid Joseph didn't think all of this was that serious. Mostly because Joseph is usually Junior's right-hand man when it comes to shit like this. I know SML can be pretty inconsistent with a lot of things, but Junior and Joseph's friendship is something that is usually pretty consistent, whether for better or for worse. Overall, 5 out of 10. It's not a good video, but it's not a bad one either. However, it could have easily been so much better. Yeah, I'm pretty mixed on this video. However, it's in a strange and different way. I think it's mediocre in the way where there's actually more positives of the video than negatives, but there's a huge negative with it that brings the video down by a lot, resulting in the video getting dragged down from what was going to be a great video to a meh video. I'll go over the positives first though. First things first, it's a Duggie focused video. That's always appreciated since he's an old face. As well, the video concept's a really fun one. Duggie making his own Call of Duty game. It has so much potential. Next of all, despite the huge elephant in the room, the whole joke at the beginning about Duggie printing out pictures of food stamps from Google and trying to pass them off as real was a hilarious joke. Honestly, in general, I think the video's comedy was one of its stronger points. Whether it be the joke I just mentioned, the fourth wall joke from Brooklyn Guy about 2 minutes, quote unquote, the honestly pretty neat small talk between Marvin and Brooklyn Guy about New Year's after Duggie leaves the scene, and the overall best scene of the video. That being the couple minutes of Pooby, Anthony, and Elena trying to figure out who's going to be the new CEO, as well as ideas for the new Call of Duty game. The dialogue from all three of them is hilarious because they bounce off each other so well, and that's pretty much due to the talent they all have in acting. And it gets just as funny when Duggie shows up and he throws his own hat into the ring. Genuinely amazing stuff. Now, if the video was just everything I said, it would have been a fantastic video. However, no. There's one huge issue with this video that weighs it down by a lot. And if you've seen this video, you know what the issue is. That being the usage of, yet again, AI. Yep, it's present in the food stamps, the cover of Duggie's new Call of Duty game, and worst of all, the gameplay footage of said game. I say worst of all for the COD gameplay because that is what is supposed to be the point of the video. This was what the video was building up to. This was the potential. Not only is it missed potential due to the video already not doing much with its own concept, but it's just bad potential because, well, it's AI. If this were an older SML video, the gameplay footage would have been like edited images like Super Mario Smell My Finger from the Quiet Game, or hell, something like Charlie and Friends the video game from Bowser's Video Game, where it's live action bits from the SML actors. or hell, even possibly a Nintendo animation like a lot of modern SML videos. I know Nintendo's animations aren't the best, and the two options I stated before that one would be far better, but Nintendo animation would have been better than fucking AI, man. Like, are you kidding me? Hell, to go further with my point, Nintendo can make good looking fake gameplay footage for videos. I'm obviously referring to the Charlie and Friends mobile game from just last year. The mobile game's graphics and visuals in that video look fucking fantastic, and it's probably one of Nintendo's best works for not even just the SML channel, but just ever. So even then, Nintendo could have possibly even pulled it off. The AI just ruins the video because, like I previously said, this is what the video was leading up to. This is the center point of the video's climax. Now, modern SML, especially in 2025, is no stranger to AI generated moments. However, I think this video is the worst case of it because of how it genuinely brings the video down by a lot and ruins it. In other videos, while it sucks that it's used at all, at least it often doesn't bring the videos down too much. Like Jeffy's 21st birthday is still a fantastic video, despite the usage of AI there and there. However, it's just sad here. Furthermore, on a side note that's still related to the point, Logan paying a comment on the video that's in support of this shit is genuinely so pathetic. Nothing much else to say about it besides the fact Logan in a recent Chili vlog said he isn't going to use AI anymore. Hope he sticks to his word. If I had any other negatives, well, Duggie's crying was kind of annoying at both the beginning and end. I love Duggie, but come on. Anyway, this video gets a 5 out of 10. It's middle of the road. It does have its positives that are admittedly the majority, but it has a huge negative that seriously brings it down by a lot to the point where it went from great to mid. Hopefully the next video will be better. An 18-minute video about Joseph? Sign me up. Never mind, I didn't like this video. It wasn't horrible because it did have some aspects I liked about it. However, it has its negative aspects that bring it down a lot. I guess I could start with the positives. First things first, I do genuinely really like the continuity with the fact this video is pretty much a follow-up to the New Year's Kiss. Whenever modern SML has continuity like this, I do admire that since admittedly it's pretty loose nowadays. Secondly, I do like how there's a hint of Joseph's dark side returning. Why just a hint? I'll get into that. However, a hint is still something to appreciate. As well, I think Simmons was pretty damn good. Him just leaving at the end was executed hilariously and was honestly my favorite part of the video. I also think Hansel was funny. Chef Pee-Pee was good. As well, as seeing Pablo's head during the Hansel pantry scene was funny, even if it was unintentional, most likely. Alright, that's the positives. Time for the negatives. First of all, the video did not need to be 18 minutes long, especially because of how I believe the video's worst aspect is how much it dragged. It's most prevalent in the first half of the video. There's just so much filler. The title and concept of the video don't even come up until the second half of the video. Even then, it's just a misunderstanding plot. Say it with me! Missed potential! Seriously, this video could have been a video like Scary Stories where I've highlighted the more darker aspects of Joseph's character. That would have been my one obvious suggestion on how to improve this video. That and cutting down the first half by a lot. Too much dialogue, you know? In the end, this was just a boring video with missed potential and a stupid and cliche plot that drags for a lot of its runtime. And also, I forgot to mention, just gets resolved in the end in such an underwhelming and dull way. 3 out of 10. Again, not horrible, but it could have been so much better. Finally, the first good video for the month and the year. I know that's probably a hot take to some people, but I genuinely thought this video was pretty hilarious. I think where the comedy in this video shines the most is all the ridiculous shit that happens to Goodman's penny. Something is always going wrong with the penny, and what makes it work is Goodman fucking deserves it. He deserves everything that happens in this damn video. It makes it so satisfying to watch. Goodman does not win in the end. He doesn't. He doesn't get his way, and it's nice to see that the other side of the character coin gets their way. In terms of other good comedic bits, Jeffy getting pain on the couch was funny. As well, Broken Guy was pretty damn good and felt like his old self in this video. In terms of other positives, I think it was pretty nice to see Goodman interact with other characters that weren't Marvin, especially the Skeeter boys. We don't usually see Goodman interact with them. Also, very minor positive, but Jeffy's painting of the Pepsi with an ass was a good painting. In terms of negatives, I don't really have much outside of two. Firstly, this this video still isn't super special. It's a pretty standard video, all things considered, that doesn't warrant a higher score that I'm gonna end up giving it. And secondly, Cody getting super pissed about his penny collection wasn't really needed. I would have just not included that little aspect of the video. You can have Cody be upset, but it's too exaggerated here, I feel like. Oh well. However, all in all, this video gets an 8 out of 10. Again, nothing special, but the comedy really does bring this video up by a lot, and I had a pretty fun time watching this video in all fairness. And we get an even better video. This video was really great. To get out of the way, I think what makes this video as good as it is the fact there are actual genuine stakes here. It's an intense video to watch in an enjoyable way. I love how Jeffy, Marvin, and Brooklyn Guy were put into this complex situation and they have to figure out a way out of it. And little conflicts keep building up and up, especially with how Brooklyn Guy's gun is at his house as opposed to the police car, which is previous worrying that Marvin and Jeffy would imply. I was watching this video on the edge of my seat throughout it, and if an SML video can do that, then it's something of good value. Even with the suspenseful aspect of the video, it's still an SML video and has to have its comedic edge. The main example being how despite the fact they're in actual danger, sometimes Jeffy, Marvin, and Brooklyn Guy don't even take the criminal seriously. It's a good reminder of who these characters are, and it's just funny honestly, especially since the criminal is trying to be super serious. Even then, the criminal himself was a pretty fun antagonist, even if he's been used before in previous Puppet era videos. Another joke that got me good was the music cutting out when Brooklyn Guy said his gun was at his house. That got a good laugh out of me. The ending was hilarious too in a what the fuck type of way. I didn't expect that. As well, Chef PP joining in with them at the end was pretty cool. I always gotta love seeing Chef PP in videos. Also, I need to point this out due to legal obligation, but Toy Freddy!
You know,
Overall, this video was really good. The only con I had with the video was that the scene where Marvin, Brooklyn Guy, Jeffy, and Chef PP were talking in the kitchen dragged on a bit too long, I feel like. However, besides that, 9 out of 10. What a great video. Good, simple concepts as premise that had potential for funny jokes, nice reference to Bowser Jr.'s All-Nighter, Chef Pee-Pee was good, and Joseph and Cody stand up against Junior was neat, I guess. Got those positives? Cool, because that's all of them for this video. Otherwise, it is completely fucking terrible. Why are we making videos to take place on the red couch the whole time? Just the red couch? No other set/rooms in the house or anything? Just the red couch? Like, what is this? You could have so easily fixed that issue by having the scenes with Chef Pee-Pee take place in the kitchen or dining room, I don't know. The whole video taking place on the red couch just makes the video very boring to watch. The banter and dialogue in this video is dull too, which also doesn't help. Yeah, no, I got nothing else to add to this video's discussion. It's so shit and boring. Huge missed potential in everything. 1.5 out of 10. What an awful video. Back to a good video, thankfully. I really like the concept for this one a lot. The Skeeter Boys watching a parody movie which is comprised of the SML crew acting as live-action human characters. It has the potential to be a comedic fun time, and in execution, this is exactly what it is. This video is pretty funny throughout, whether it be the jokes, the delivery from each of the actors, especially Lance. Lance hit out of the park with this one. The few interludes from the Skeeter Boys were pretty funny. The ending with them was funny too, where they end up putting on trolls. I think the funniest joke in the whole video is near the 4-minute mark, where after Cody says something, the camera pans to Poopy making a face. That was funny shit. That got me to laugh so hard. Overall, comedy is this video's strongest suit for sure. Honestly, I don't have much bad to say about this video. The only other things I'll say is that firstly, I wish there was a little bit more done with the concept. Feels like something's a little missing, you know? Additionally, I wish there were even more interludes with the Skeeter Boys. Hearing their commentary was a perfect bow to the video that I wish there was more of. Otherwise, this video is pretty damn enjoyable throughout. I give this video an 8.5 out of 10. Overall, a really good video, even if I don't think this video deserves its age restriction. This video sucked. It wasn't terrible per se, however it had its huge issues weighing it down a lot. To get positives out of the way, firstly, even though I don't like him as a character, especially in this, I still think it was pretty neat they brought back Nigel. Secondly, Jackie Chu was pretty funny in this video. Thirdly, the pigeon with the letter was also funny. He was the best part of the video for me for sure. And finally, Cody wanting his nose back and caring too much about that was funny in my opinion. Now, this is why I don't like the video. The main reason being how, besides the fact it reveals Penelope's now with Nigel, barely anything happens in this video. There's really no structure or any resemblance of a plot at all, and while occasionally that wouldn't matter and can still serve as the grounds for a good and entertaining video, that isn't the case here, mostly because of how dull the video feels. Besides the few positives I mentioned, this video lacks comedy and overall it is just so boring to watch. Nothing interesting happens in this video for most of its runtime. Additionally, there's other aspects I don't like about this video, one of them being how Nigel makes this video pretty annoying. I do not like his voice. I get it's meant to poke fun at British accents, but it's always too overkill with him, and he doesn't really have much character or memorable comedic qualities to him outside the fact he's British, and because of that, he has an overly exaggerated accent. Nigel is such an interesting case for me though all the same because he has the potential to be a funny and good character. While not a great character per se, I'd argue Harry from long ago had his funny and good moments that made him stand out from even Cody, who he was replacing at the time. Nigel just has nothing to him, and all in all, he's just an annoying and bland character. And finally for negatives, this one isn't a huge one, but Brooklyn Guy was kinda in this video. I didn't really care for the jokes and how he was grounding Penelope over whatever. Pass. Anywho, this video gets a 4 out of 10. Like I said, it isn't terrible and it does have its positives in there. However, it is certainly a bad video at its core with an annoying and nothing burger of a returning minor character, a dull plot with nothing really interesting going on outside of one thing, and barely has any actual plot structure to the point where you can say this video doesn't even have a plot at all. And overall, it's just boring. Moving on. Back to goodness. I quite liked this video a good amount. Okay, so to break tradition in this video, I'm gonna go over the negatives first. Firstly, and is honestly the strongest negative in this video, is simply that Camille Habib's scenes were pretty dragged out. More so the first scene of his, but I digress. Just trim them down a bit, you know? And secondly, the nerfed joke, albeit funny at first, got kinda repetitive as the video went on. It isn't a huge deal and it doesn't ruin the video or anything, but it's certainly something worth pointing out. And finally, I think Rose could have done more in this video. She was kinda eh. However, that's it for negatives. I think my favorite aspect of this video is Marvin. He was pretty great in this. He had some pretty funny moments and lines. The ones that come to mind are the scenes where Marvin is pissed and freaking out over Jeffy using the rocket launcher. The other scene that comes to mind is the one where Marvin is writing his signature for his package. That scene got me to laugh due to the sheer stupidity of it and was by far my favorite part of the video. I also think both Jeffy and Brooklyn Guy were both pretty good, each of them having lines that were funny. I think the banter between Marvin and Brooklyn Guy near the end of the video was hilarious and was perfectly timed enough to where it wasn't dragged out at all. In terms of other positives, the Nerf gun commercial was great. It was funny and it continues to show how much of a good actor Poobie is. As well, it was filmed outside, which is always a plus for me in videos. As well, despite the issue of the scenes feeling dragged out, Camille Habib returning yet again was certainly cool. And finally, I think the editing in this video was surprisingly better than the usual standard for modern SML. Specifically talking about the scene where Jeffy uses the rocket launcher the first time. Overall, this video is pretty damn solid. While not perfect, it was an enjoyable video throughout, and I give this video an 8 out of 10. Pretty damn good. Besides the dream scene and the Goodman news broadcast, it's just another video entirely on the red couch. Ugh, right? Now, this is the part where you expect me to call this video a bad and boring one. But surprisingly, no, I actually liked this video. It isn't a great video per se, due to the fact it only takes place on the red couch for 95% of it, and also admittedly, Steve was a little too stupid in this video. However, I pretty much enjoyed everything else about it. The best part of the video by far is the dream scene. For one, I'm glad they did it as a Nintendo animation instead of the AI garbage they've been doing lately. The dream scene in this video could have so easily just been like the gameplay footage seen in Duggie's depression. However, it wasn't, and I'm really happy about that. Secondly, I like how it's pretty much a Willy Wonka parody, and it adds a level of creativity to the video. I know Nintendo's animations are still not the best, but he's been improving, and honestly, this is one of my favorite animations by him. This part of the video was very entertaining to watch, and it had its funny moments. As well, while obviously unintentional, I like to think the scene where Brooklyn Guy farts instead of burping to avoid the fan is a reference to specifically the Wasted Talent episode of Family Guy where Peter and Brian do the exact same thing. I like to think of it as a reference since that episode in particular is one of my personal favorite Family Guy episodes. Even though it was clearly unintentional, I thought it'd be cool to point out. In general, Brooklyn Guy was pretty funny in this video. I liked a lot of his lines. Jeffy and Marvin were good too. I really liked the running gag in this video with the fucked up Jeffy doll, which I think is supposed to poke fun at the fan mail Logan gets. It's pretty funny. All around, I think what makes this video work and not the last cheese stick from earlier is that the dialogue in this video is actually pretty interesting and good. Meanwhile, in the last cheese stick, I didn't really care for the dialogue there at all, and it's really dull. This video is just packed with jokes, and additionally, the dream scene in this video really elevates it a lot. So much so that I'm giving it a 7.5 out of 10. I enjoyed this one a good amount. Okay, so I'm kind of mixed on this video. The first half of the video I didn't really care for that much. It was pretty boring in the first half at times, and the first red couch scene dragged on a good amount. Only positives of the first half personally was that Chef Pee-Pee was great, and him arguing with Junior while Cody's having a crash out moment over his destroyed phone was pretty funny. As well, the camera shots for both when Cody's phone falls to the ground and when the bowling ball destroys it were both pretty cool shots. Otherwise, the first half was pretty poor for a good amount. However, this video nearly redeems itself in the second half. It still drags a tiny bit, but all the shit regarding Jamal and Junior and Joseph having an affair with Judy, Cody's mom, was fucking hilarious. I know it nearly has nothing to do with the iPhone Air aspect of the video outside of Cody needing to tell his parents about the fact it got destroyed, but it's the best aspect of the video. As well, it was neat to see Judy and Tyrone back. They appear frequently, but not that frequently, so it's still nice to see them. Otherwise, I enjoyed this video at certain points. If the video didn't have as much filler as it does, especially in the first half, I would have called this video a good one. However, I can only call this video just a decent one and give it a 6.5 out of 10. It's really close to being a 7 out of 10, which is a good ranking, but I can't bring myself to give it that rating. It's a damn shame too. I loved this video a lot, like genuinely. It was really good. Wanna know why? Well, in SML videos, especially modern ones, do you ever feel bad for Marvin, Chef Pee-Pee, and/or Cody? Usually because they're the victims of another character's shitty actions, i.e. Jeffy, Rose, Junior, Joseph, and Braxton. Well, did you ever want to see the victims get payback? Well, that's what this video is, and man, it was so satisfying to watch. Jeffy, Rose, Junior, Joseph, and Braxton get what they fucking deserve in this video, and it's so amazing. This video is also amazing because Marvin, Chef Pee-Pee, and Cody surprisingly have good chemistry with each other. Well, I knew Marvin and Chef Pee-Pee had good chemistry, but Cody having good chemistry with these two was definitely a nice surprise. It's also just nice seeing Cody interact with Marvin, you know, a character he never interacts with. That was really cool. Just in general, the main three characters of this video were great. To make it even better, Broken Guy, when he shows up, is pretty funny and good. He is the sole reason why the ending of this video is hilarious. I love how Broken Guy literally dresses up in a pumpkin costume to sell even further on the Pumpkin Guy joke, and him just admitting it's a dog costume was gold. In general, this video's comedy is really good. First off, I like how a relevant plot point to the video was a funny reference on how Logan voices both Marvin and Junior. As well, at the beginning, the immediate cut to Braxton saying "what the fuck" to Chef Pee-Pee's burnt chicken sandwich was hilarious. All in all, this video was fantastic. It's even more special since this video was a fan idea. Logan should low-key do this more often where he uses fan ideas for videos. He used to do that back in the day, so seeing him doing it again was really nice. I literally only have one nitpick with the video, and that is the only sort of negative I have with it. It's that Marvin not knowing who Braxton is despite their history was a massive eye roll. Besides that though, 9.5 out of 10. Definitely the best video of the month and the year so far, even topping Jeffy's water balloon, which was also a fantastic video. And now we're back to the bad videos with this one. Only positives I can give this one was that Brooklyn guy was okay. His Nintendo animation in this one was one of the more okay ones. How Marvin said what the fuck at the 720 mark was funny because of how he said it. The small character variety in this video was nice. We get the typical Jeffy, Marvin, Rose, and Brooklyn guy. However, there's also Steve Steelberger, Cody, Mikey, and even Duggie. And finally, speaking of Duggie, the very end of the video with him was funny and was honestly the best part of this utter bore fest. Yes, on to the negatives now. This video is such a nothing burger. Not only is the concept of this video just dull in general, but the execution is the same way. This video drags really badly for a lot of its scenes. This is genuinely filler of the video. This video was so boring to watch. It just feels like nothing truly happens besides the slinky competition. There's no weight to this video at all. It's just a whole load of nothing. Speaking of the slinky competition, most of the video is dedicated to that and not as much as the actual video title itself. Are we serious? I get the concept itself is very dull, so what else are you really gonna do? But at least try, you know? I genuinely don't have anything else to say about it besides cutting down on the filler, just have more interesting things happen in the video than just dialogue, and actually try to have most of the video actually relate to the video's title and concept at hand. Overall, this video gets a 2.5 out of 10. It is better than the last cheese stick because at least this video doesn't take place on the red couch the whole video and has a tiny bit of character variety outside the video's main characters. However, this video is still a worthless nothing burger that really didn't need to be 14 minutes long. I know a minute of that is the sponsorship, but even if you took that out and it gets cut down to 13 minutes as a result, the video would also not need to be 13 minutes either. Moving on. Another nothing burger of a video, of course. What else do you want me to say? It's just another boring and bland video that has nothing going on at all. It's another video that is heavily dialogue driven, which yet again wouldn't be a bad thing at all if there was actual intrigue to it, but alas, it doesn't. So the video feels like an utter drag. Just what else can I really say? The only positives I have with this video are pretty small ones. One being the very minuscule positive on how it at least doesn't take place on the red couch the entire time, which, spoiler alert, is something that keeps this video from being under the last cheese stick in the ranking. Secondly, when Brooklyn guy first shows up and Joseph says, "Sir, arrest this man," I laughed at that due to the stupid voice Joseph had. I also had a similar reaction to when Cody shouts he's not a doll as the final say for what happens to him, whether or not he gets sent to jail. Next, I thought it was neat Cody and Bubbles had some type of relation between each other. And finally, Judge Poobie was pretty good. He was definitely the best part of the video for sure. Overall, very dull and bad video. I feel like this video would have honestly been much better if Cody and Ken got sent to prison over this spanking shit to stay true to the video's title and concept. But of course, the process of getting Cody to prison would just be set up and not the whole damn video. And then it could have focused more on the whole thing about Cody being a cane in prison. That could have been a really fun video. So of course, there was missed potential. 2 out of 10. What a shit video. Moving on to the final video of the month. And for the final video of the month, it's just mediocre. Starting out with positives, for one, I think the video's concept is pretty damn good. It could have served to have interesting things happening, especially comedic moments. Secondly, the scene with Goodman was pretty good, all things considered. Goodman was pretty funny, and it was nice seeing a subversion to the whole Goodman torturing Marvin's chick with Marvin getting the upper hand on him. Thirdly, the fourth wall break when Marvin enters the bathroom the second time to talk to Brooklyn guy to the point where you can hear just Logan laughing without moving Marvin's mouth or anything was pretty damn funny, even if a little bit dragged out. As well, the twist that the criminals and Rose ended up just playing games in the playroom was a pretty funny one. Just in general, I think bringing the criminals into the video was a neat idea and could have been an interesting conflict. And finally, the very end of the video with Jeffy and Rose's voices switching was hilarious and was honestly my favorite part of the whole video. Okay, so what's wrong with this video exactly? Well, there's two huge things with this video for me that drag it down. The first and main one being the amount of missed potential for two aspects of the video. The first aspect being the whole mute button thing. I feel like the video could have been better if there was more instances of Marvin muting other characters. It could have made the video and its concept feel more whole, and it could have led to great comedic potential. And the other aspect that I feel was missed potential was the criminals being brought in to serve as the video's conflict. I just feel like they should have had more of a presence in this video to really solidify the fact they're the main conflict behind Marvin using a mute button. As well, that conflict in general is resolved way too quickly in my opinion. I don't know, man. If more attention was brought to both the gimmick of the video as well as its actual conflict, the video could have been way more interesting and been way more entertaining to watch unfold. The lack of attention towards both aspects makes this video feel very empty, honestly. And my other huge issue of the video is that even with the lack of focus and time dedicated to the main aspects of the video somehow still manages to drag out during certain scenes. Now granted, it's nowhere near as bad as other videos, even from this month alone, mostly due to how this issue is mostly found in the first 2 bathroom scenes of Marvin and Brooklyn Guy, and just those. However, it was still a bit annoying and they could have easily just been cut down. It's just filler, even if the second bathroom scene almost rode the fine line into fun filler due to the whole fourth wall aspect of it. Otherwise though, this video gets a 5.5 out of 10. It's mid. Not good, but not bad either. It's simply middle of the road. And here's the ranking for the month. The Last Cheese Stick, SpanKEN, Jeffy Learns to Whistle, Joseph's Massacre, The Pen Pal Problem, Duggie's Depression, The New Year's Kiss, The Mute Button, Cody's iPhone Air, The Golden Chick-fil-a Cup, Jeffy's Rocket Launcher, Goodman's Penny, Junior's Movie Night, Jeffy's Water Balloon, The Boys' Vengeance. This month was honestly pretty mediocre for SML. There were some genuine bangers already this year, like The Boys' Vengeance and Jeffy's Water Balloon. However, videos like The Last Cheese Stick and SpanKEN were real stinkers, and then there were just all the mediocre or just decent videos like Duggie's Depression or The Mute Button. This month had a wide range of videos when it came to the actual quality of each of them, and that's something, I suppose. All in all, this month is getting a 5.5 out of 10. Pretty mid-month. Since January is YouTube's lowest paying month, meaning Logan and crew probably made the videos intentionally not as good, maybe we'll get more good videos in February, who knows. I do have genuine hope though, since Logan has said he's gonna bring on actual editors to help with videos, which will definitely keep them more fresh. Sort of like how it was when Logan introduced more sets to the videos, like the bank and everything. As well, there's also how Logan said he won't use AI anymore, hopefully. Again, let's just see if he sticks to his word on that. If he does, that'll be a great thing. Anywho, that's it for me for right now. Soon I'm gonna release part 1 to my new SML retrospective series, which will focus on 2007 for the channel, so yeah, stay tuned. Toodles.